Hello and welcome to the third episode of Finding My Voice, a podcast I started just to push myself to keep voice training and find my voice in my transition and my personal journey in exploring who I am and how I wish to express myself. And as I've said before, it's not just going to be about my spoken voice, of course, even though I will be working a lot with that, and I would like to hear comments on my progress. And yes, it's going to be a lot about role-playing games and some writing, but right now, I still have a lot to say about role-playing. So I will continue. But first, I will give some advice about voice work, because I do hope that this can help some people who are on the same journey as I am. I know I'm lucky with never having been cursed with a very deep voice, and my acting training prepared me for the voice work ahead of me. I have seen that a lot of the tips and instructions you can find online, though brilliant as I'm sure they are very technical and hard to understand, even for someone who's done professional voice training before, even though the training I did was not for feminization specifically, but a lot of the technical exercises are very similar. They're using the same language and the same techniques, etc. So I think I'm gonna give 3 pieces of advice right here, right now, for any other trans ladies that want to work on their voice. The first one's a no-brainer that nobody wants to hear. The second one is a simple exercise that everyone can do, and the third one is a little technical, but bear with me. If you can wrap your head around it, it's going to help a lot. All right, the first one: time, patience. It's going to take time to get where you want to be. I've been working a lot, and I've made a lot of progress, and I'm still not where I want to be, but I'm getting there, and so can you. But yes, it's going to take time. The wrong puberty messed you up, and that sucks. But you can retrain the muscles around your voice, your voice box. I don't know if that's the word for it, but you can retrain the muscles to not use the extra cavities that were forced upon you when you had a testosterone-induced puberty. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. So just do it and do it and do it. And it's gonna mean hating the way you sound for a long time, but you just have to. You have to go through that, and you'll come out the other end, and it'll be great. So yes, that was the first episode. That's the first advice that everybody already knows and nobody wants to hear, but we all need to come to terms with. The second one is a more fun one. It's one of the exercises, but I think it's the most helpful one, to be honest, and also the most simple to explain. Because the one thing you have to be ready to sound silly. And if you want, you can do that when you're on your own, no one around you, in your own room, because you have to train the muscles that lift your voice. It's not necessarily trying to squeak, but your voice needs training and exercise in that range. And then you can just do the exercise of talking like a squeaky cartoon, and then slowly relax down to a more natural place. And when you go back down to a more natural speaking tone, you can land slightly differently than where you started. And you can actually land at closer to where you want to sound. All right, I'll just do it.
I'm gonna talk like a squeaky cartoon here. Obviously, you don't want to walk around in day-to-day life sounding like this. It's very, very silly, and it can be painful because it mocks what you want to sound like. But it's a very good exercise, because when you start relaxing and bring the sound down slowly, you're gonna walk past a few points along the way that feel kind of good, and then you're gonna land somewhere where that wasn't where you started out, and here we go. I'm actually quite happy here, and it's hard to land here. I sometimes need to do that squeaky exercise to find myself here, but the more I do it, the longer I can maintain it, and the easier it is to find it again. And as many other trans people who have done this for a lot longer than I have say, eventually this becomes the norm, and then speaking like you used to actually becomes tricky. That's when you need a technique to go back to it, and that's where most of us want to end up, and
that's, when you're there, crack open the champagne, baby. That's a good day. So that's something we all can do, and it's helpful. It's really helpful. Now the third piece of advice is a little more technical. So if this goes over your head, don't worry about it. Do the first two. Well, it's the only one. The first one, just do it. But yeah, it's one thing we often talk about in voice work is find where your voice is vibrating. It sounds silly because we're vibrating all over, but you can get a sense for where the center of the vibrations is. I know this might not be scientifically accurate jargon. It doesn't have to be. If it's a placebo effect, it's fine. We just want the results. It doesn't matter how we get there. So what you do is you make a tone, a note, and you just feel where it feels like you vibrate the most. That feels like the back of my throat. That's by my lips and my eyebrows up here. And when you start feeling the lower you go, the deeper your voice is gonna be. Singers often talk about your head voice or your chest voice. That's what it is. Find where you're vibrating the most when you're making a sound, and then you can experiment with sounding different by trying to move the vibrations. Just imagine vibrating somewhere else, and that actually the sound tends to follow. That is a very useful trick when you're just talking to someone and you feel your voice slipping and you're not sure of how you want to sound. What you can do is just focus on projecting your sound forward and upwards. You want to vibrate close to your forehead, like aim for the back of your teeth and then upwards, because it does help. It does help a lot. I know it's tricky if you haven't done any actual voice work before, but trust me, try it out. If you can't master this, fine, go back. The other ones are fine. The other ones are good things to practice on. But yes, imagine there's a little hole between your eyes actually, and imagine that the vibrations, your sound is like paint. Pick your favorite color and you're making this paint spray out of the hole between your eyes and out and forward and up. And imagine that the paint is the vibrations. And if you just try and picture that, and while you're talking, that's how the sound comes out of you, as paint from between your eyes. It's going to help you reach that kind of sound. And that's the visualization technique you can do when you're talking to someone. They're not going to know what's happening in your head. You're just going to sound better. I suggest you try that one out as well. So those 3 times. Don't give up, keep doing it. Do the squeaky exercise, then go down, relax, and then try and vibrate forwards and upwards. If people are on the same journey as me, but earlier, this can help you a lot. Just like roleplaying can. Roleplaying was so important to me. Now I am out, but I'm gonna keep roleplaying because it's just so wonderful. I suggest that you try it. This works for trans men and non-binary people as well, by the way. If you're not ready to come out, you can play a character that's closer to who you are than what people see you as. So you don't have to come out. If you are a assigned male at birth trans woman in a group of friends of all others are, as far as you know, cis men, you can just tell them, you know what, I'm going to make a female character, and because we're in the game, you should respect, the character and address me as you would the character, and just to respect the game, they will. Even if they don't know who you really are, they are, by accepting your fiction, meeting your truth. So it's safe. I mean, your friends are probably safe anyway, but it can feel secure to start this way. And if you're the friend, by the way, don't push anyone. I'm guilty of pushing sometimes, but all right, push gently. Just make sure everyone knows that you are safe. You are a safe space to your friends. If someone needs to come out to you, you are safe. And if someone doesn't come out to you, it's not your fault. It could be, I suppose, but not necessarily. You can be very close to a trans person, and there can be external circumstances that makes it hard to come out to you. It's not always because of you. So I don't want to put that on anyone. But yes, in a role-playing environment, accept each other's characters. Some people might be experimenting with themselves. That's fine. And nowadays, since a lot of role-playing is done online, this is brilliant for people who are in the situation I was in. If you just start doing this voice work, you can join a role-playing group online and just work with your voice there and play a female character, and you're going to hear people back who hear you as a female. And I shouldn't use the word female, it's creepy, but it's female character. But here you play a woman or a girl, and they will accept who you are, and that's gonna help you feel secure and help you try out and find out more about who you are. Maybe it turns out you're not binary after all, as you thought. You might be non-binary, or the other way around. You might have thought you were non-binary, and all I'm saying is use this in role-playing. It will help you find yourself and express yourself, and it will give you friends for life when you find the groups that accept you no matter what. So there's a lot to unpack there. The technique, the security, the just role-playing experience, because it's just fun. Just fun to experience role-playing. And everyone must do it. So, yes, once again, I managed to talk about my journey and tie it back to role-playing games. I think someone asked me about my hormones, because yes, I have been on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, for almost 15 months now, and there have been some significant and amazing changes. And they asked me specifically to talk about how that correlates to a specific character I played in the group that they play in. And that was a great question. Thank you. And I will touch on that, but that's going to be a longer episode than this is going to be. I need to prepare for that one. So that's going to be a great episode. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be next or the one after that. So if you're curious about the effects that hormone therapy can have, come back for that. But now, it's time for a sonnet. And again, if you haven't been totally convinced that you need to start role-playing, then come follow me to distant lands, to worlds beyond what eyes can see, where as the dice fall from thy hands, revealed our fates will come to be. Through dungeons deep or battlefield, at court's great hall or peaceful glade, explore fantastic worlds unsealed, and every bond two hearts have made. With shackles broken they will see, once free from prison of the mind, become who they were meant to be, a champion of greatest kind. Take my hand, challenge the fates, the journey of your life awaits. Now, if you don't start role-playing after that, you have just failed as a person. Sorry. Okay, that was mean. Sorry. Yes. But yes, I think it's no secret that I love role-playing, and you should too. Thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, about role-playing or my transition or voice work or whatever, I love a comment and I'd like you to ask it so I can bring it up in a future episode, because I love being a help. I love teaching cis people about trans people, because the more cis people know about us, the better it's going to be for everyone. And I love attracting people to their role-playing hobby, because that's where everyone needs to be. Love you all. See you there. Bye-bye.